Hello and welcome back to another episode of Applied History. We're once again joined by Matt Diana. Hi Matt.
Hi Matt.
So we've done a couple of great joints so far. Today we're going to learn my favorite joint, the scarf joint. Matt, tell us about the scarf joint, how you make it, and what it's used for.
Yep. So the scarf joint is a pretty fun joint. So the primary goal is to join timbers end to end. So to make a timber longer, right?
Okay.
You can always make timber shorter by cutting it, but how do you make it longer?
All right.
So in the most basic form, I've already cut one half of it. It's a half lap. Just like the dovetail, we cut out the half of one side.
Got it.
The other piece will cut out the half of the other side, put them together.
Cool.
And so there's all these variations of notches and steps, and they can be angled, there can be wedges.
Okay.
They can get really fancy or very simple.
Okay.
So in this case, we're using this half lap with a couple little blades on the end there.
Yeah, I remember we have that example upstairs of the dovetail with a little bit of a slant on it.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. We use a lot of this in making sills or top plates where we need a long length of timber, and
Cool.
It's a pretty good way to do it. So layout is similar to like what we've done before. Take our framing square, and again, it's all based on inch and a half, got a little tang, inch and a half pocket in there, and then that gets us down 3 inches on the timber. This timber is 6 inches, so that's half. You could do a combination of inch and a half and 2 inch just to work out, a half lap.
Yeah.
And so the length of the scarf joint, typically we'll do a 2 foot. In this case, I did 16 inch. The longer, the stronger. Put it that way.
Okay.
So you have a nice long 3 foot scarf joint. It'll be very strong.
No. Excellent. Noted.
So that one's already cut. And what I've done, I've started the layout and some cutting on the mating piece.
Okay.
So again, on the layout, we pick a top.
Yeah.
So the top of this, top of that.
To make a difference, what's the top, what's the bottom?
Not particularly,
Side.
just
Okay.
mostly what's the straightest and most square.
Got it.
Right. And whatever you want flush.
Cool.
So same thing. For this, the half lap came down 3 inches. Struck that line.
Got it.
Inch and a half.
Yep.
Inch and a half on this little piece.
Yep.
Transferred all my lines.
Cool.
And
Got this drawn up already.
It's already drawn up.
Nice. That must have been Scotty.
With Scotty's help. So the one tricky part about this particular joint,
Yep.
like again, this could be as simple as just a couple square cuts, is this cut in the middle here.
Okay.
So you can make a cut along here with your saw. You can cut that out with the saw pretty easily. Make that cut. With this, you can either chop out like the mortise and the mortise intended.
Cool.
So the trickiest part of this joint is this little section right here. Right, you can't get a saw in there. So similar to the mortise, we're going to chop it out with a chisel. So probably the quickest way to do that is to take your drill bit again, and you kind of line it up in there, drill out as much as you can.
Clean it up with the chisel.
Yep, clean it up with the chisel.
Nice.
Just
I'm
like
starting to get the hang of this.
Yeah,
All
starting
right.
to see a pattern, right?
Cool.
So
In case real estate doesn't work out.
You always got this. So from here, I'm going to hook up the power saws and start making my cuts.
Let's chop it up.
And then we'll clean it up.
Awesome.
So we'll start with the big one. There. One side.
Nice saw.
So the bigger saws are handy for bigger timbers.
It's amazing, yeah.
And they go as big as a 16-inch blade.
And what's that?
This is a 10-inch blade.
Okay.
Your typical saw, which I'll use, is 7 1/4, which you can get at any lumberyard or hardware store. Turn that again. And this can all be done with the smaller saw, just might take a little bit more work. So I'm going to set our depth.
Good. And what would they have been cutting this with in 1800s, early 1800s?
The hand saws. Just around.
So similar to what you used earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually something like this, they'd probably use a handsaw right here, and then this big part they'd probably take the axe and chop that out with the axe.
Makes sense.
And then finish it off with the chisel.
Cool.
You know, the quickest removal of material. So now I'll make this cross cut. Oh, nice thing, that just falls right out. And we'll make this last little cut right there. For that one, I'll use my.
And what is this cut about?
This is going to lock in.
Well, right
it's going
here.
to fit right. Yep, right here. That's what we're cutting out. Right
Got
there.
it.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So it locks in. So I'm going to use a smaller saw that's already set up for it. Switch the plug.
Thank you, Scotty.
The rigging crew.
I'm giving Scott all the credit for the preparation here today.
Put there, yep.
Slick.
So,
Well, that's pretty slick, my man.
same thing. We'll just clean it up. Get the chisel. Make sure you get all their little bits of wood out of the way.
I'm gonna go home and build a shed.
Yeah, sure could with this. So what I'm doing here, knocking that corner off.
Okay.
So when I slide that in, it doesn't
Sure.
catch on that
Just
edge
don't
right
find
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we'll just make sure this big flat surface, that's probably the most important as far as keeping an eye on it, make sure the two pieces mate together.
So how do you clean that up?
So this is where the slick or the bizigue, maybe we
Let's
can
use a
that.
bizigue.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We didn't bring it for nothing, right?
All
Oui.
right, my friend.
There we go. So this, gonna hold it under there.
You've been waiting all day for this.
Oh yeah.
That is slick.
Yeah.
It's just peeling it right off.
Yep. So what we'll do, we'll flip it over and get it from the other side too. Flip that. Sorry, nobody's gonna see this side. So what you want, you just want to make sure the two edges, if you put a straight edge on, that
Right.
they touch.
I'll fight
So
it.
there's no belly in the middle there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Take this side. Okay.
And that's
should
below, so that should be fine.
that should do it. Yep.
Okay.
And now, moment of truth.
So, all right, how are we doing this?
So let's see. When we pull this block back, give ourselves a little more space. Yep. Put that there. Take that.
All right.
This is where the mallet comes in handy. Get started.
You want the big one?
Start here. Yeah. That's why we got that one. Do me a favor, why don't you stand on that piece?
Right here?
Yeah, all the way up. There we
Got
go.
it. Victorious.
Yep.
That's slick.
So just get it lined up.
Now you see why the scarf is my favorite?
There you go.
That's a beautiful joint.
And so a little fine tuning, you can really
Wow.
tighten that up, but
And that is going to be used, I saw that upstairs, it was actually used vertically.
yep,
So it was, this would have been laid like that.
exactly.
Awesome.
And that had to do with the assembly.
Okay.
So when this is new, we can do it sideways, no problem.
Uh-huh.
When we're trying to fit in an existing space, like that top plate, we couldn't come in from the side because of the rafters. So we had to come in vertically to engage the post. So
That's awesome.
we're orient things differently depending on how we're going to get it together. It's
very
like a
cool.
big puzzle.
Well, there's a real art to what you do. We appreciate you being here with us and showing us the mortise and tenon, the scarf joint, the dovetail joint. We hope you learned a little something. You can take it home with you. If you have any questions about how to restore your timber frame, or for that matter, I understand you also take it right down to the millwork and the finish carpentry as well.
Yep.
with
We
Matt
do
Diana.
all aspects of historic carpentry. So everything
Right.
from renovating your house to millwork to timber framing.
So call Matt Diana for all of your carpentry historic house needs. Matt, really thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Scotty
out.
on the side here has helped us with all the preparation. Thanks for being here. Shout out to Aeropex Media, and this has been another episode of Applied History. See you next time.